decisions
Ace
to be based
attorney.
on hard
Hey, just as I said, just as soon as I said Ace attorney. What's up, you beautiful people out there? It's me, Uchat, and today we're going to be reacting to a Game Theory's newest video, and it's about Among Us, but it's called Among Us, this elite 500 IQ imposter strategy will never lose. If this is true, then this may break the game itself. Like, everyone that's being selected as an imposter will get overpowered, and the game will never end, I think. I mean, what happens if you never find the imposter? Does the game have a time limit? And when a time limit ends, then everybody loses? I've never got this scenario, but if it's true, then holy shit, we're in for a ride, guys. So let's get straight into this. I hope this is false. I really hope, because this is a great game, and I don't want anyone to ruin it.
Yeah, but when everyone went off to do their tasks, Orange just stood back at spawn doing nothing. See? He's not even denying it.
Maybe he's just AFK.
I'm telling you,
AFK.
Orange cannot be trusted.
Yeah, gonna have to go with a no on that one, Chief.
Wait, you guys, I'm
Wow.
telling you the truth. Orange's been silent the whole time.
That's not an excuse.
Yes, I'll stay back here and keep an eye on this guy.
That animation is awesome. Oh no.
Works every time.
Is this the
Hello,
strategy?
Internet. Welcome to Game Theory,
Okay.
the show that's been super sus since episode 1. Today we turn
Doesn't
our
sus
attention
mean
back
BS?
to Among Us, the game that taught the world that imposter is spelled with an O-R and not an E-R. Trust me, I had to confirm that spelling for our new Among Us inspired
No, I already
theory
knew that.
available right now. Shameless promotion alert. We have two great options for all you imposters out there. You can wear your sus pride proudly, or
Okay,
you can go the
I wanna
other
thank you,
way.
but no way,
Wide
I'm broke,
variety of
so
tasks, despite the fact that they don't
no
seem
way
to
I'm gonna
harm.
get that
Yeah,
shirt.
There's one thing that's really sus here. It's the anatomy of these crew members. At least the jelly beans
Yeah.
over in Fall Guys had useless little nubbly arms for them to grab onto stuff. Wait, no. What? That's their anatomy? What is this
Oh,
world
no.
I'm living in? Revelations about freakish video game skeletal
That is so
structures
creepy.
aside, 2 weeks ago we started our examination of the strategy of Among Us, the overarching
But I like that,
pieces of
stuff
advice
like that.
to think about as you dive
I'm
into
weird,
any
I know.
round. Consider that episode Among Us 101 to 201. It's important to master the fundamentals. You have to learn to walk before you can shoot your tongue through their eyeballs, killing them brutally. But this week, we're getting into graduate level Among Us strategy. Level 2000 IQ tactics that'll give you the extra edge you need to come out on top more often.
Einstein
Some
will
you
be
may
proud.
familiar with. Most, probably not. But when combined, all of these will take you from an experienced player to an elite one. So no time to mess around, let's get started. First, I'd like to start with a common rule of thumb that a lot of players seem to have adopted. The idea that when you start a meeting with 7 players left alive, you should probably skip voting. It's something that you've probably heard if you watch a lot of streams of this game.
Wait, don't vote on 7, right? That's the rule.
And if you ever forget
Why?
that don't vote on 7 rule, Valkyrie will be sure to remind you.
Do not vote on 7! Do not vote on 7! Why are we voting on 7?
While it's a
Why?
rule that streamers
I don't
and
know.
players will often repeat, and it's often a good piece of advice to follow, it's something that might leave some people asking why. The answer
Yeah.
actually comes down to some pretty basic math. The overall reason for not voting when you get to 7 players is this. If you vote to throw someone out of the airlock at 7 players, then you're down to 6 players.
Yeah.
Obvious math is obvious. Here's the most important part. In a 2-imposter game, starting a round with 6 players puts the imposters at a huge advantage. In fact, there's a tactic that they can use that almost guarantees a win in that situation. All they have to do is sabotage Reactor or O2, which forces the crew members to come repair it or risk an automatic game over. Then the 2 imposters just camp there and kill the first 2 crew members who come and repair it. That just leaves 2 imposters plus 2 remaining crew members equaling an imposter win. It's incredibly difficult for the crew members to avoid this sort of double kill trap even when they know it's coming. Thus, if there are 2 imposters remaining, do not set the imposters up for an easy win by letting them start a round with 2 imposters and only 6 players. Or
The only problem is,
streamers have put it so eloquently so many times.
I don't think you can tell that there are 2 imposters. Oh, hold on, you can. Okay, never mind.
imposter that round. That's dishonest and twisted, and a really good illustration.
Look at that
of
face,
this
bro.
advice today, which is that you shouldn't always blindly trust conventional wisdom. It's true of life in general, and it is especially true in a game like this. The rule of don't vote on 7 makes mathematical sense, but keep in mind that an imposter could always use that
Look at that
rule to
hand.
try and delay a vote if people are onto their scent, as Ninja does in that clip. If you're playing with a group of people who all play a certain way, or expect you to play a certain way, it can often be strategic to buck conventional wisdom. For instance, killing and immediately self-reporting is generally considered to be a noob tactic. It's usually something done by impatient players after making risky kills that they shouldn't have gone for in the first place. Self-reporting is often seen as an obvious ploy that's easy to see through. Most intermediate and advanced players know that a smart player would never kill and self-report, which means that once you start reaching the advanced levels, it can sometimes be smart of you to self-report if you're prepared to start a team meeting with a lie that immediately deflects suspicion off of you. Again, most of this depends on what level of gameplay you're dealing with. Ninja's little bit of deception worked there because he was playing with a group of experienced players who understand the quote-unquote proper way to play the game. And he was able to twist that knowledge and use it against him to survive that round.
I love how
If
he's
you're playing
using
an
Ninja as
imposter with
a
bunch of smart and experienced
example.
players, sometimes the real big-brained play is to be unexpected by doing the thing that no smart or experienced player would ever think to do. It's reverse psychology. Noob tactics win because everyone is overthinking the game. And those are the kinds of galaxy brain strats that tend to work best when you're in a play group of people that you know. But there are also plenty of things to be aware of that'll help you out even if you're playing with randoms. And most of them boil down to properly understanding.
Bro, I can't talk at all in this
mechanics
episode.
in and out.
I gotta
First off, when you're a
concentrate.
crew member, pay attention to
Keep
the task
concentrating.
completion meter at the top of your
One after
screen.
another.
You probably know by now that the imposters have the ability to perform fake tasks to blend in with the crew. What you might not realize is that while completing a real task will cause the team's meter to fill up, the fake tasks won't. So if someone walks up to perform a task, stands there for a while, and then walks away without the group's task meter going up, well, that means that they're a big phony who's trying to pull one over on you.
Yeah.
And you should consider calling an emergency meeting to let everyone know about it.
Good to know.
Just making it
Good
look like
strategy.
you were playing. You're a phony. Hey, this guy's a great big phony.
This is also something
I
to
love
be
the word
wary of as an
phony.
imposter. Playing with experienced players who know about this tactic, avoid faking tasks. Or when you do fake a task, try to time
Like, where
it so
did
you walk away
word
right
come from?
after
Phony?
the task meter goes up due to someone
Oh,
somewhere
maybe
else
they're
on the
referencing
station completing a
scammers.
different task.
That's the reason
And
why
obviously that
the
wait till
word
progress
phony
bar
even
goes
came
up
to
before
existence.
walking away so you can pretend it was you only is gonna work if you're performing a long task. If you sit in front of a simple task like wires for 20 seconds waiting for the right moment to fake complete it, you're gonna have some explaining to do at the next team meeting. This is one of the areas where the game most rewards you for having specific knowledge and experience. So be aware of which tasks are long and which are short, and which ones have a visual indicator and which ones don't. So we've just covered one big reason to avoid trying to fake tasks as an imposter. Another reason not to fake tasks is that it's a waste of time. Time that you can use much more productively. While your tasks
kill
are
your
fake, your
crewmates.
ability to make use of the security cameras and admin panel are very much real. Of the two, admin is by far the most useful. It's great for giving you a quick bird's eye view of who is in what section of the map, which can allow you to quickly identify who's traveling in a large group and who might be all off on their lonesome waiting to get a knife right between the shoulder blades. It can be useful for identifying where your
You know, the
teammate
art
is so
style
you can team
reminds
up
me
with them
of
for a
Kingdom
double
Rush
kill. And maybe
from
most
Ironhide
importantly,
Studios.
it
You guys
lets know
ever notice
which
that?
areas of the station might have no
And it's so
people,
charming
which can
too.
be helpful if you're trying to come
cute.
up with a fake alibi. Coming up with a fake alibi, like saying I was in laboratory when in fact you were nowhere near laboratory, is usually pretty risky because anyone who is in that area will be able to call your bluff. But if you use admin to confirm that a certain area of the station is empty, you can then claim to have been there without having to worry that someone else is going to contradict your story. Of course, in a game that's all about deception, the most valuable skill a crew member could have is the ability to spot a liar. And honestly, this is one of the things that humans are just really bad at. In fact, a 2006 study by psychology researchers at UC Santa Barbara found that when asked to judge lies or truths, the test subjects guessed correctly 54% of the time. Only slightly slightly better than the 50% success rate you'd expect if they were guessing completely at random.
Exactly.
You might think, no, that's not me.
Still
I'm
not
really
bad.
good at spotting someone when they're lying, but that just might be you engaging in self-deception. Because research in another study by
Probably.
psychologists at the University of Missouri in Columbia have shown that people who think they're good at spotting liars are, on average, no better than the rest of us. That applies even for people whose entire job revolves around trying to catch people who are lying, like judges, police officers, and customs agents.
Judges.
Which is a good reason for court decisions
Ace
to be based on
attorney.
hard
Hey,
evidence
just
rather
as I
than
said,
court's
just as soon as I said
intuition
it's
about
attorney.
too much when they talk.
Yeah.
You might be wondering, what advice could I have to help you spot a liar when I just argued that it's scientifically impossible to identify liars just by listening to them? Well, the answer here is simple. You don't just listen to them. As the saying goes, actions speak louder than words. And in Among Us, no action is more important than the almighty vote. At the end of each meeting, everyone's votes are made public. And if someone's statements seem to contradict their voting record, maybe their statements are lies. Of course, this is something that you have to be aware of as an imposter. It means that sometimes you're going to have to vote to throw your partner under the bus. Or out of the airlock, I suppose. Hey, let's face it, your job as an imposter is to be a literal backstabber. And sometimes the innocent crew members aren't the only ones that you have to betray in order to ensure your own survival. If everyone is onto your partner and you're the only one who doesn't vote for them, that's going to look pretty sus. But that's all pretty common knowledge by this point, so here's the next level play that you can take from the crew member side. Look out for bandwagon jumpers. That person who's always waiting to the last minute to vote, they might very well be an imposter who wants to see the way that the wind's blowing before casting their own vote. Imposters will often join the mob when it's obvious that their teammate's been caught by the group, but they'll seldom be the first one to vote to throw their partner into the lava pit. The earlier someone casts their vote to get rid of the imposter, the more likely it is that they're an innocent crew member, and the longer that they wait to vote, the more suspicious they seem to look. It's common knowledge at this point that everyone's votes are public, but people often simply focus on who other players vote for without considering the important part of when they choose to vote. Paying attention to that will often give you a far better indication of their guilt than just trying to guess based on who sounds suspicious. Of course, as we all know, the best part of the game is being an imposter, and the best part of being an imposter is the killing, where a lot of the strategy comes down to when, where, and who to kill. The biggest thing that you always want to aim for as an imposter is to kill in places and at times that are hard to catch. That much is obvious, right? And so are all the other tips that follow from that. Like the fact that you shouldn't kill anytime you see the cameras flashing red, because that means that there's someone watching the security feed who will be able to catch you red-handed. Of course, that's basic stuff, right? I'm sure you already knew that you shouldn't ever kill someone while the cameras are blinking red, and you've never, ever lost a game by making that simple rookie mistake, right? Of course, if you're playing in a game where everyone is properly aware of how the cameras work, you can use the blinking red indicator to your advantage. Let's say you're a crew member, and on cameras you spot someone who looks like they're about to kill someone. Obviously, they'd never do it while you're watching. They're probably waiting until the red light goes out to do the deed. That means that you can sometimes bait people by getting off the cameras for just a second so that the red blinker goes off and then immediately hopping back on, possibly in time to actually witness the kill, or at the very least see a dead body with knowledge of the obvious culprit.
Everything that he just said is common sense, but only to the smart people.
If you're about to make a kill and the cameras start blinking, it's probably time to move on and find a new target rather than just sitting there waiting for the person in security to stop watching cameras. So that's the win of the kill. As for the where, well, avoiding being seen doesn't just mean staying off the security feed. It also means that you should avoid killing in high traffic areas of the map. For instance, when playing Unskilled, it's extra risky to try and kill in the cafeteria or storage, which are the two rooms on the map that have 3 entrances. Even if someone isn't there to witness you doing the deed, it's highly likely that someone will pass through the area to find the body sooner, which means less time for you to separate yourself from the body and give yourself a potential alibi, and less time for your teammate or you to get a second kill in before the next team meeting is called. Other high traffic areas where you generally want to avoid killing also include obvious places like hallways, especially the Y connector on Mira HQ. Also be aware of rooms that have multiple entrances. Those rooms often get used as thoroughfares that people pass through on their way to other parts of the station. If you're playing on Paulus, killing in a place like Specimen Room, Laboratory, or Admin is almost no different than killing someone in a hallway. Avoid it if at all possible. And of course,
Specimen,
there's the
Laboratory, and
final question
Admin.
of
Got
who
it.
to kill. This is honestly something that I think a lot of players overemphasize. Oftentimes, the best kill is just the one that you can get away with, regardless of who it is. And if it becomes clear that you're stalking a specific player, that can often be a dead giveaway. That being said, when prioritizing the kill, it's often best to avoid people who the group views as suspicious. Partly, this is because sometimes the crew will do the job for you by voting to throw their teammate into the lava pit, but mostly it's because as long as that suspicious crew member's alive, it deflects suspicion off of you and your partner. If that player gets voted out of the airlock, great, but if they split the vote in a way that results in no one getting voted out, that's fine for you too. That just means more time for you to spend killing. Obviously, then it follows from this that if you're avoiding killing players who are suspicious, you should try to be targeting players who are cleared and known to be innocent. If someone was seen doing a visual task early in the round, they're never going to be killed by getting thrown out of the airlock, so that leaves the task of killing them to you.
Okay.
Remember, confirmed innocents are one of the few sources of reliable information that the crew has. The fewer confirmed innocents there are, the less crew members will be able to trust each other in the team meetings. Your job isn't just to rack up a body count, your job is to sow uncertainty and doubt. So when the crew has certainty about someone's innocence, consider making that person your primary target.
Really?
Of course, Among Us isn't a game whose strategy can be reduced to a simple flowchart, which is the inherent limitation of any strategy guide or advice video like this one. Winning in Among Us requires you to adjust on the fly based on who you're playing with, which means that maybe the best advice of all
I think someone is
comes from
fighting
my dear
outside.
friend Bear Grylls. Improvise,
Whatever, I have
adapt,
game for you to watch.
overcome. And most importantly of all, remember, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because we're gonna make you smarter in all your favorite
I already am
games,
subscribed.
also
Thanks
just
for the
out in
offer.
real life too.
So I'm definitely going to use these tactics in my next playthrough. Thank you very much, MadFat. You are the greatest. Dang it, bro. Why are they all... Over what are they arguing with each other? I don't know, but right now it's 9 p.m. You know, if I was at an older age, I probably would have shot it back. Just so I can get in between the fight and make them stop fighting. But at this age, I think I'm just gonna get on with my life. So if you guys have any more recommendations of what I should react next, let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see more Game Theory reactions, also let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe, and activate that beautiful clock. And I will see you guys next time. Ciao!